is Marvin Chapman from our sister island of Nevis. Marvin is the owner of Chapman's Stone Art Gallery. Today he joins us on Good Morning SKN's Expression to tell us more about his creation. So good morning, Mr. Chapman, and welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you both. It's a pleasure to be on, your station.
Thank you. It's great to talk to you about this very exciting development. I can't tell you how excited I am to talk to you about it.
Yep. So when did you begin creating? You were saying?
Actually, I started in 1992.
Okay.
But it's been a while. I actually attended the Chinjalan Secondary School. I mastered physics and woodwork. So that sort of gave me a little edge in a sense. I actually wanted to be a pilot, but that didn't transpire. So I actually went to learn to drive very early, got my license at 18, and I was away.
Mm-hmm.
I see. But okay, you're talking about woodwork, you're talking about physics. How did you get involved with stone? I'm sure there's a backstory somewhere.
Yes, this is actually the $1,000,001 question that I'm answering. I actually, as a boy growing up, in my village there was a guy who used to, cut stone. In those days, they didn't have chop saws like we have now. So he used to take like a chipping hammer, and he would chip the stone away, chip it, like Brimstone Hill and those stone buildings. They were done by hand, actually, cutting the stone with hand. So I was very curious, until one day I decided I'm going to try something. I'm going to get a chipping hammer also, and I'm going to try a thing, as we say. And I started doing it. And with the experience that I had in terms of carving with the woodwork and the physics, which is was very instrumental, that in itself, afforded me the opportunity to, just soar. And I never looked back. I started in November of 1992, and I continued, and I started making a head. I actually got into hair cutting hair. Then is when I realized that, the contour of the head and everything, and I started making like man heads, your actual head. And I just continued from there. I started to get, constructive criticisms, and, that, also helped me a lot. In terms of, ideas, someone will give you an idea, and then I was, I can do that. I would try a thing. And, nowadays I use this phrase, imagination is everything. Mm-hmm. Once you could imagine it, trust me, you can make it.
Do it. Mm-hmm.
All right, so in terms of everything that you've said so far, I want to get a sense of the ratio of your training. So is it that you were primarily self-taught, or you had some guidance from other people? How did that work?
Basically, I was self-taught, but in 1994, 2 years after I started doing it, I was recognized by the government. There was a small business enterprise here that, was offering training, and I was afforded the opportunity to, secure some training in Jamaica. And this was done by the Canadian Training Awards Project, CETA, back then. So I traveled to Jamaica for 6 weeks, and I got some training. But, the guys there was telling me that this is not enough time for me to, do certain things. They wanted me to actually come back for 3 years to go to the art school. Mm-hmm. But upon, returning to Nevis, and, I just got, I started doing a little small business. I built a little shop, and I started doing my thing. And as I said, I never looked back. And that was 1994, until now, I've been doing it.
That's a lot of years of experience,
I got some very interesting, points and everything in Jamaica, basic fundamental training, But I learned very easy. I would look at you and you're doing something, and I would like, wow, I can do that. What does a monkey see monkey do?
Indeed, yes.
So there's there's a head just above your head. Is that one of your pieces?
No, it's a wood carving that I actually found. Someone was throwing it away.
Oh, okay.
And I was into this already, so I just took it off the garbage heap, and I clean it up, polish it, I varnish it a little bit more, bring it back to life. And, these kind of things I go crazy for.
So can you tell us what's your largest, most extravagant piece that you would have created?
My largest piece is about 9 feet tall. I think I sent you a picture of that with me standing by it. That is situated at a villa in Four Seasons. Okay. It's about 9 feet tall.
Wow.
9 feet tall.
Okay.
How long did it take you?
How long? That one would have taken me like 5 to 6 months. But on and off.
Okay.
I did some work. Well, I actually was, again, in 2001, I was afforded the opportunity to travel to Canada to take part in an international trade show that was held in Barrie, in Canada. And it was successful, The exposure was very good. Again, in 2008, I got from, I didn't know the number. It was from China. Someone called me from China and asked me if this is Marvin Chapman. I said, yes. Would you be willing to come to China to take part in a sculpture symposium? I said, yes. But I was a little reluctant at first, but then I Googled, their website and everything for authenticity. And it was legit. So I started my preparation and everything. And actually, that was free. Going to Jamaica was free. To China was free. I spent 2 months in China.
Nice.
That piece was about 6 feet thereabout.
Okay.
That was around the Olympics time.
Okay.
Everyone was fascinated. Because what I was using is, like from Nevis, where's Nevis, And I tried to explain to them, but I gained some recognition there internationally, and I came back and I just said, man, you are internationally recognized. So I started doing some larger pieces because I with the exposure that I had there, I saw a lot of different kind of work and different people.
Yes, we're seeing some of your work right now.
Excuse me?
It's like we're seeing some of your work right now with the pictures.
It's lovely.
We actually saw the 9 foot one. So it was so great.
Wow.
You were seeing the Buddha head now. That's lovely.
Yes, I'm presently making like face basins, almost any design actually, a face basin, like the vessel ones, actually any type.
Okay.
I'm doing some foot scrubs, which is a very simple idea, but it's very, very, very effective.
So, Mr. Chapman, we're having a very engaging discussion, and one of the things that I want to ask you about now is your ability to see things that others don't see. What is it about, in your words, a sculptor's eyes that enables you to make a vision of art?
Well, over the years, my eyes have been like trained to see. I use this terminology now. Imagination is everything. And before I was born, there was, these guys like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and I can go on and on. But these guys, imagine things and, you actually see beyond the surface of the rock or the wood. One guy said, you actually see the angel in the block of marble or whatever. You actually see it before. You visualize it and then you remove. The process of carving is actually removing the excess. Because you already see the piece or whatever you're going to make inside of whatever the medium is. And in a very simple form, it's like removing, you're taking it away. It's like you have a piece of paper and you're going to draw a heart. You cut away with a scissors. You cut on the line and you already see the heart, but it's taking away the actual excess paper, and then you remain with a heart. So, in very simple terminology, that's the actual process of carving.
Well, thank you. You've explained it well.
Whatever.
So, Mr. Chapman, you mentioned that you started in 1992. Was that the same year that you opened your gallery, or your gallery was opened thereafter?
No, my gallery was opened thereafter. But
Okay.
I did some, leading up to that, from 1992 leading up, it's like the experience that I have, I just, decide, you got to go big, you got to have somewhere for, people to come and see your work actually.
Okay.
So that started, to come. I started as a craft studio.
Okay.
I used to do craft, like calabash, coconut, board, wood, and I just stuck with the stone. The stone has, just got a hold of me.
Mm-hmm.
And because some people say it's difficult. I mean, how can you do that from stone? I mean, but the ability to, I've actually mastered it. I'm not a genius as yet, but I'm still learning. As Michelangelo said, he's still learning. He was still learning, but I'm still learning. Mm-hmm. There are sometimes challenges that I would face in terms of the rock. You would have to examine it for cracks and those kind of defects. Mm-hmm. But you don't want when you're doing something it's it pop it way. So these are things that I would have to look with my natural eyes and look into the rock, or try to maybe tap it. But one guy said in an article, the eyes of a sculptor, it doesn't miss anything. It's like an X-ray machine, you go to the hospital and they look, they put an X-ray and they give you an X-ray and you're able to see beyond the skin surface. So that's what my eyes are actually being trained to do, You see before it's actually finished.
Well, I don't know if we asked you this. Somehow I don't think that we asked you if there was a favorite piece of yours. Do you have a favorite? I know it's difficult, isn't it?
I love turtles. I love pelicans. I love dolphins. It's very challenging. My favorite piece, I would say, is the pelican, our national bird.
Oh, okay.
The brown pelican.
Okay.
There's one that is being displayed at the International Airport, in Nevis. I hope that one was donated by myself for the people of Nevis, actually. It's there, permanently displayed.
Okay.
So our visitors get to see that. Do you find that your gallery, I'm asking, is your gallery a tourist attraction? I imagine you get local visitors as well, naturally, but do you have a lot of tourists coming your way?
Yeah, well, before the actual, before the COVID, but now the COVID is on, there has been some drop-offs.
Okay.
But I want to thank you guys for, affording me this opportunity to showcase my work, on Studio 327.
327, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a pleasure, because, well, the internet is there. I try to use it as much as possible, to get the our message out there. And a lot of people have said, they didn't know that this is going on in Nevis. Yeah. Sometimes the tourists, they will come to Nevis or, the Four Seasons, and they were like, oh my goodness, wow, they have never seen this before. To make a turtle from stone, sometimes it's like, I'm insane. They would think that I'm insane, but it's a very simple process. I've learned to master the art of carving, so I would make almost anything.
Okay.
I wanted to be a pilot, but that didn't happen, so I actually made a stilt bomber one time from stone.
Okay.
Really? Is that on display? Yeah. Is that on display in your gallery?
I have it, but unfortunately, I don't have it, in my setting.
Okay.
But I'm going to send a picture of it. It's awesome.
Please do. I can imagine.
It's awesome, and I treasure that. I love flying. I could fly almost every day.
Okay. Oh.
Sometimes I go on YouTube. I would look at, planes or, in the cockpit, actually. I was going to Canada in 2001, and that's what before 911, and I told one of the air hostesses that I want to see into the cockpit of Air Canada. And I was granted that opportunity to see in the cockpit, actually, the two pilots, and, they were showing me all sort of different things. I mean, crazy.
Oh, that must have been amazing. That must have been amazing.
But it's the kind of thing that I love, that's fascinating me. It causes you to think, it makes you think. And I play chess almost every Sunday, and that helps me a lot.